Welcome to Ball Gym, Muncie, Indiana. First time I've been to a basketball game at this gym. Small facility, um, but adequate. I mean, it's good enough for what Burris uses it for. It was a game between the 4A Muncie Central Bearcats, 3-9 on the season, and the 2A Muncie Burris Owls, 0-7 on the season. The game was on January the 14th, 2025. This game was a joke. From the start to finish, the JV game was pathetic. Both games ended in running clocks, with Burris being on the short end of that, down over 35 points or more. So I'm not going to go over the scores very much. The first quarter was 23-10. At the end of the second at halftime, it was 36-17. At the end of three, it was 52-22, and at the end of four, it was 63-24. We were in exact opposite position as to what we were at Noblesville the game before on the Saturday before this. Running clock. This is an example of a game that shouldn't have been scheduled. I'm quite sure they're trying to create a rivalry here. That's never going to happen. These two schools are at different levels completely. Muncie Central should be at the highest level. I guess it's okay to schedule this Burris, maybe a game at the start of the season or something like that, like they used to do a long time ago. But this far into the season, I don't know what it accomplishes. Other than just taking up a game. It's a controlled scrimmage, basically, is what it was, because Burris is not, they don't have the kind of athletes that you need to compete at the highest level. Even at their level, they're not very good. Their power rating is second worst in 2A. That said, the real problem here is that I see is that Ball State has certain things that they care about, and they run both programs because the state allowed Ball State to take over the Muncie Schools a few years ago when they were having financial problems. And I'll repeat, financial problems. The reason they took it over wasn't all about financial problems, but it was mostly about that, and they probably would have never gotten the support that they did if it hadn't have been for that. The school district was reportedly $12 million in debt or more. I don't think I ever came up with that, but somehow after about a year, I think that all went away. They probably bailed them out. There was some private donations they say they got $5 million worth of private funds that they used. I think that they found some funds that were put in the wrong, in things that they could get out of, and issues like that. The tornado that hit the field house also bailed them out on the football field a little bit, and also the field house, because they replaced some stuff there that would have needed to be replaced probably anyway. And the field house was in a condition that they needed about, I guess it ended up being about $2 million. But they were estimating a lot higher than that in the administration that got booted out the door. The problem with the school board at Muncie is that their qualifications to run for school board should be a lot higher than what they are. And you got people on there that just were over their head. They weren't monitoring what was going on, and nothing has been done about that. So, academically, Ball State has improved the scores. But if I were a parent, I wouldn't be real impressed. 4% on math when you're 13% at the beginning. When you started, and now you're 17. Big deal. I don't understand why anybody would call that a success, or even a start of a success. It could even be statistical anomaly, and also you're dealing with a different set of kids over that 7 years. they improved the reading scores 1%. Oh boy, that definitely could be statistical anomaly. This it's time for them to be weaned for the schools to be weaned off of Ball State. Um, Calling the person that's running the thing anything other than a superintendent, a CEO. CEO of what? Is this in a company? I mean, that's something for private business. It's not for government schools. Um, the big problem with the schools in Muncie is that they have a lot of kids that are no parents, grandparents, foster parents are raising them, um, or they have one parent. And when you get that point, school choice with the Republicans have philosophy in Indiana doesn't work for Muncie or Anderson. Both of them are in the same boat. Anderson's a little worse scores than Muncie, but they're not taking over. They somehow managed to be able to balance the books, so they're okay. Um, I think it's time for this to be taken off of the Ball State rolls. They are not. I'm a proud graduate 2 times from Ball State. I I wouldn't give them a nickel. The school is diversity crazy. Everything has to be diverse, even if it sacrifices quality. They don't care about that. Um, I don't get me wrong. I think things should be diverse as well as you can, and you should be encouraging that. And over time, you should get to some level and have some metrics that measure it. But you can't just do it and say it in words. That's not diversity, and that's exactly what Ball State does. Um, let's cut to the chase. They have a plan here of how they're going to do things. Their goals are absolutely ridiculous. Um, they have a mission statement. I don't know what the heck it says, but what the first thing it should say is that we're going to be excellent. We're going to strive to be excellent in all areas. That includes athletics. This program is not excellent. It has a part-time a coach that just comes around during the. Well, he's probably there all the time for the basketball purposes, but he's part-time as an employee. He's not a teacher. He's a plumber. And yes, he runs a business, and yeah, that probably gets you qualified at some schools to run the athletic, run an athletic program like this. But not at a public school like this. There's no reason to have that happen. And if you got teachers that don't want to do that, you got the wrong teachers. It's time to look at that and find out why we aren't hiring people that want to teach kids, and not just during the 9 to 5 or whatever the heck they go nowadays. Um, they need to be all the time, and that's the problem with this basketball team is that they don't have a full-time coach. That's the number one problem. He's an AAU coach, and he's not a very good one at that. His program is very what he does is it's these kids haven't bought into it, and they never will. Um, he might be able to sell it at some 1A school like Monroe Central, which he did, but this isn't Monroe Central, and never will be, hopefully.